What's up? What's up? What's up, tribe? Let's get into these Real Housewives of Potomac. This is the Real Housewives of Potomac, season 10, episode 2. Hey, everybody. All right. Lexi, you made it to where you were going safely. I'm glad to see it. Chuck, I talked to Chuck earlier. Make sure, I think everybody is home except for Cruiser. She had a layover, but she was at her layover. And technically, her layover is in Charlotte, which is about an hour from her house. But that ain't the airport. She left out of Greensboro, so she still has to wait for her flight. Anyway, so she should be home. If she's not already home, I know the last time she checked in. So again, we'll do a live. I'll probably do it in members only. We'll talk about the weekend. We had a ball. Like I'm had such a great time with you guys. It was so great meeting everybody and hanging out with everybody and putting names to faces. And it was a cool vibe. It was a cool vibe. Looking forward to the cruise with a lot of the same people are going to be on the cruise, some new people. And I expect it to be the same. Cool vibe, right? Okay, so let's get into these Potomacs. Let me say this, y'all. I'm going to be real. So first of all, let me say this. I'm going to try my best to just watch the season as if we don't know what's really going on with Wendy in real life, because it's real easy to just let that come in and be like, oh, Wendy, when I'm going to try to just take the season for the episodes for what they were and how they were filmed. If I'm going to have an issue with Wendy, it's going to be because of what I see on the show. We'll deal with what's going on outside of the show, however we deal with it. I did watch a few minutes of Watch What Happens Live, and I noticed that Andy didn't bring it up and Ashley didn't address it. So I feel like because this is something that's being adjudicated, I feel like they're being very careful in what they're saying. Yeah, that's just me. Let me say this. This season has about one more week out of me. And I'm not saying I'm going to stop reviewing the show. I mean, it has about one more week out of me before I'm bored. And y'all are going to start getting y'all 3-minute reviews. He's probably in the clouds. He's about to drop down right now. But I am not enjoying this Mean Girl pileup. And as I was watching it, I feel like they were told not to talk about it. I feel like Ashley was told not to bring it up, not to throw no digs, not to say anything. And Andy absolutely did not bring it up. Oh, so this was taped last week? Oh, well, then that might be why. If this was taped last week, then that might be why. Okay. But let me say this. I am not enjoying watching these episodes. Forget how you might feel about Stacey. I'm not enjoying the pileup. It's not entertaining for me. I'm not enjoying the Wendy K of it all because it doesn't make sense to me. I'm not enjoying it's clear that Ashley and Giselle are only here to cause problems and start the drama. And I'm not here for that. It wasn't entertaining to watch. And so I feel like if we don't move on quickly from this, I am going to lose interest. Again, that doesn't mean I'm going to quit reviewing the show. It just means that y'all going to probably get 10-minute reviews and I'm going to keep it moving because I didn't enjoy this episode. Everything about this episode irked me. Let me say 99% of it. We start off, we are still at the party where they still beating up, Kay is still beating up on Wendy. And Ashley is still beating up on Stacey. Then they want to talk about and Stacey's friend was like, look, why is this even a thing? Like, why are we making a big deal about is she divorced? Isn't she not divorced? It's not like, I feel like he was trying to say in a nice way, it's really not your business. And it's not. Then he let it slip, or he said, she's back with her husband, so why does it matter anyway? And I feel the same way. Like, if she's back with her husband, why does it matter? You know what I mean? Like, why does it even matter if she's back with her husband? Regardless of how, they were like, well, it was just 3 weeks ago she was with TJ. It couldn't have been 3 weeks that she was still with TJ because her and TJ had broken up at the reunion. So they weren't even together when y'all filmed the reunion. And I know that they started filming a few weeks after the reunion, but they weren't even together at the reunion. Stacey said it. We're not together. Now, when they broke up, I don't know, but they weren't together at the reunion. So I just feel like, and here's what, as I was watching this episode, something I was thinking, and I know before I say what I'm getting ready to say, some of y'all are going to be ready to yell at me, but please hear me out. Hear me out and let me finish my thought before y'all be like, What they're doing to Stacey, we have seen Housewives do on other shows. The problem on other shows is that the optics don't look good. The optics don't look good. And what I mean by that is when we see it happen on Housewives, when everybody piles up on Garcelle, the optics don't look good. When we see it happen on Miami, when everybody piles up on Gertie, the optics don't look good. But when I try to tell y'all that Housewives do this, y'all want to be like, they racist. It's racist. It's racist. I'm not saying that people don't have a bias. I'm not even saying that people aren't racist. But I think we have to think about moments like this before we so quick to call people racist because the person they've decided to pile up on is the black person in the group. Because they do it all the time. They pick somebody and it's their turn. And clearly Giselle and Ashley have decided it's Stacey's turn. Now, y'all ain't got to like what I said. Y'all ain't got to agree with what I said. But as I was watching this, that is what I was thinking. I was like, because all of these women are melanated, it's still coming off Mean Girl, but it's not going to have that same, that, happens on other shows. Kevin said actually prior to the reunion. What actually prior to the reunion? Okay. So that was pretty much KK talking to Wendy. Here's what frustrates me. And I know some people might feel like it's passive aggressive, and I get that. But again, I have to say, when we see these scenes, they have been edited. They have been edited down. And what frustrates me is I'm watching Wendy. They have literally been sitting on that couch with KK coming at Wendy probably for 40, 45 minutes, maybe more. Maybe more. I'm with you, Cyber Diva. I am too. At a certain point of you telling me all the things that I did. Oh, yeah, that's what I said. I said before the reunion. You probably typed that before I said that. But anyway, as the more and more I'm sitting here and I'm like, KK is telling Wendy all the things she did that she didn't like, that she felt was shady, that she felt was this, and she felt was that. At what point is it wrong for Wendy to say, I've already apologized. What is it that you need from me so we can move on? I don't think that is Wendy being rude. I don't think that's Wendy being passive aggressive. I think that's Wendy saying, okay, we've been talking about this shit for 45 minutes. I've already acknowledged your feelings. I've already apologized for what I did to hurt you. What do you need from me so that we can move on from this conversation? And then KK was like, see, I just feel like, I don't feel like and I'm like, see, this is the shit I'm talking about. Like, how long we got to talk about it? What more do you want me to say? So anyway, child, then Ashley brings out a scripper. I guess it wouldn't be an Ashley party without some inappropriate sexual situation. Because, is that part of your second bloom? Is that part of your second bloom? The scripper? Or the burlesque dancer? Whatever. That was just surprise guess. So anyway, moving right along. So then we see Wendy and Stacy over at Wendy's house. Again, y'all, I'm trying my best not to allow my personal feelings about what we learned the last couple of days play into this. But Wendy, why are you walking around in them shoes? See, I understand y'all are filming. I understand you're in full face and makeup and hair and makeup. I understand you put on a cute outfit. I get all of that. But girl, if you don't put some fucking slippers on and call it a day, because you know good and daggone well you do not walk around your house in them damn shoes on them hardwood floors. You don't. You don't. And if those cameras weren't there, you wouldn't have put them damn shoes on to take somebody outside on your deck. Girl, stop. Now, I could see if they was getting ready to head out and Stacy was coming by the house to pick you up. But girl, you came down the steps in them big old clunky ass shoes just to go outside with a charcuterie board. Anyway. So Stacy is over there, and Stacy, I guess Wendy said that her and Stacy are trying to move on. And Stacy basically admits that she is coming out with a cannabis line. Now look, production showed us a clip of the guy that Giselle spoke to that said, yes, Stacy approached me to try to do business with me. She wanted to come out with her own cannabis line. Stacy, here's the thing about lies and truths. Sometimes when people say stuff, the story is so specific, you kind of feel like, well, that's real specific. That's a real specific truth or a real specific lie. When Giselle said that she heard from people on the streets that you were out there trying to get a cannabis line, and then we find out a couple of months later that you are in fact starting or signing on to a cannabis line, that gives Giselle all the validity, because that's too damn random. I mean, that's too specific for it not to have been true. That's too specific. So now you're gonna sit in my face and piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. You're gonna sit in my face and say, well, that didn't happen until after the reunion. You understand? Let me tell you something. If it was really a lie, when y'all was sitting on that couch and Giselle said, hey, I talked to some people out on the streets and they told me you out here trying to start you a cannabis line. If it was a lie when Giselle said it at the reunion, I promise you the last thing I'm open, out of all the businesses you can open up, the last business I'm opening up is a cannabis line. Just off the strength of, I'm not going to prove you right. If it was nothing happening, if I hadn't talked to nobody, I hadn't started talks, I hadn't signed any contracts, the last thing I'm doing is the thing I just said I wasn't doing. Stacy, don't piss. See, look, I don't like the pile up, but that don't mean that I think you innocent. Let's be clear. I don't like the way they piling up on you, but that doesn't mean I think you're innocent. Two different things. Then Stacy was talking about the whole situation with TJ and the lawsuit and all of that. And Stacy was like, well, I just don't know what to say. I don't know how to defend myself against something that I don't even know what I'm being accused of. Stacy, you know what you're being accused of. Everybody has been very clear, including TJ, of what you're being accused of. Now, you've already said it's not true. And I guess after you say it's not true, it ain't much more you can say after that. But girls, again, Ashley was very clear about what she was accusing you of. Now, of course, she didn't have no receipt to show you. She could only tell you what somebody said and I heard, and this is what they told me. But let's be clear, you know what you're being accused of. Then Stacy lets Wendy know that her and her husband are getting back together. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't understand. I don't understand why this is such an issue. Her and her husband broke up. Her and her husband were going through the process of a divorce. Her and her husband, either they did or they didn't get divorced. I don't know. I don't care. Got divorced. Now her and her husband have decided they want to try to work on their relationship. Why does it matter how long ago it was that she was with TJ? Why does it matter how long ago it was that her husband was out there in the streets with maybe another woman? The fact is, they've decided to try and make it work again. Why is that a problem? Why do y'all keep acting like it is such an issue? Maybe I'm missing something. And I understand the TJ part of it. I get it. But I just feel like this goes back to the pile up thing. At a certain point, it's like, okay, y'all, everything can't be a problem. Like everything can't be an issue. Then we go to Tia's house. We meet her husband. We meet her kids. She's got a beautiful family. Husband from South Side of Chicago. He does something in the aeronautical, whatever. She's a high-end real estate broker. She comes from Nigerian royalty. She grew up privileged. She comes from money. She's unapologetic about it, and she shouldn't be. She should be unapologetic. Baby, if that's how you grew up, that's how you grew up. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with saying, look, I grew up with servants. I grew up, pampered. I grew up a certain way. And that's the way I want to continue to be. Because honestly, I don't think you should be, listen, I think it is, and this is what I've always felt. I think it's disrespectful to your parents or your parents' parents who worked hard to provide that life for you to downplay it and not appreciate it. Because it sounds like she appreciates how she was raised. But it sounds like she's not going to dummy herself down for others either. And I'm okay with that. I feel like she's matter of fact, but not in a braggadocious kind of way. I don't know. I don't dislike or like Tia, but I don't dislike that Tia's unapologetic about her life. You said Tia and Giselle are no longer friends. I don't think Tia and Giselle were ever friends. I think this was a Housewives thing where Tia and Giselle knew each other. That's why they keep saying we know each other socially. They move in the same circles, probably went to the same events. They've known each other. They had twins in common. Because it's clear that Giselle don't know her, because it's clear that in this scene, that's the first time Giselle been to this woman's house. It's the first time Giselle is meeting her kids, even though they have the twins in common. It's the first time she's meeting the twins. It's the first time she's meeting her husband. They ain't friends for real, for real. You don't know nothing about this woman. You've never been to her home. You've never met any of her family. Y'all ain't that close of friends. That's my opinion. So for them to not be friends anymore, I believe it, because I don't think they were ever really friends. I think she came on the show through Giselle because maybe Giselle recommended her, whatever. Maybe I need to drink all the water I can drink after Chuck kept me drinking that bourbon all weekend. She said they had just met, but they said no. They said they knew each other socially. They said it on this episode, and they said it on last week's episode. They said they knew each other socially. So, I mean, I don't know what just met. I don't know the definition of just met, but I heard them say they knew each other socially. Look at Chuck. So then we go over to Ashley's house. Now, I have a couple of issues with this scene with Ashley because it really was a throwaway scene. But two things slapped me in my face. And I don't know if y'all heard what I heard or y'all feel the way I feel. So, no, they said they knew each other socially. They did not say they just met. They said they've known each other socially and they have twins in common. Now, y'all ain't going to make me think I'm crazy because I know what I heard. They said it last week and they said it this week. Don't make me find the scene where she says it. They said they've known each other socially. They did not say they just met. Hold on. Because if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. Hold on. Y'all hold on. Let me mute so I can go back to the scene. Hold on. Hold on, y'all ready? Y'all ready to hear what I heard? Hold on, I'm gonna rewind it. Let me try to turn it up louder so y'all can hear. Y'all hear that? I met Giselle socially. She did not say we just met. She said I met Giselle socially. And in last week's episode, Giselle said the same thing. Giselle said they've known each other socially. Because we said, y'all can go back to the whether you like it or not panel. We said it on the panel last week. They said they know each other socially, which means that they weren't really friends. They just moved in the same circles. She said we have twins in common. And she said that's how they bonded because they both have twins. They didn't just meet. I don't know what y'all heard, but I didn't hear that. I heard them say they've known each other socially, and I heard both of them say that. Giselle said it on last week's episode when she was introducing Tia and talking about why she invited Tia to Ashley's party. Because when she called Ashley to say, "Oh, I'm bringing a +1, my friend Tia," she didn't say I did some random chick I just met. She said I'm inviting my friend Tia. She's cool. And then on tonight's episode, y'all just heard Tia say, I've known Giselle socially. We both have twins. So I don't know what y'all heard, but that's what I heard. Right. They both have twins in common. Right. So I don't know what. Now, neither one of them said they were friends. Neither one of them said they were friends. They said they've known each other socially. Okay. So I don't know nothing else that happened in that scene. I was about to move on to Ashley, child. I was about to move on to Ashley. All right. Right. That's what I said. I'm confused. I don't know. Okay. Let me move on because I don't know what y'all talking about. Moving right along. So, yeah, I moved Ashley. Okay, let's get to Ashley. So we get over to Ashley's house, and now two things that, like I said, two things stuck out to me on this situation with Ashley. Ashley, why ain't nobody cutting your grass? Did y'all see that backyard? You didn't get enough money in the settlement to get a landscaper to get somebody to cut that grass for you on a regular basis. You got your kids running around out there and all that damn grass. They can pick up the mosquitoes and shit. Why is Ashley backyard? Why does her backyard look like that? And I understand that was, y'all might think I'm being petty, but why does her backyard look like that? That's number one. Number two, she was going to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Did y'all hear what she said? Did y'all hear what she said about going to the White House Correspondents' Dinner? She said, for me, it's not a partisan issue. It's more about respecting the office of the White House. See, when I hear people say stuff like that, y'all know what I think, right? When I hear people say stuff like that, y'all know what I really be hearing, right? I'm going to just leave that right there. So we see her stepsister, who's the daughter of the guy that her mama been dating. I don't know. She said that, child, I don't care. It looked like she just got that lady being her nanny. That's what it looked like. It looked like she got a free babysitter, but okay then. Ashley is dating the Josh boy again. She said they stopped dating so she could film Love Hotel. And do y'all hear how they tell on themselves? Ashley said, well, I explained to him that I had committed to do Love Hotel, so we cooled it off so I could film the show, which says to me, you weren't really on that show really looking for love. because you only broke up with him to film the show because you had already committed to film the show. See, y'all be telling on yourselves, because if you had said, well, you know, Josh and I broke up right before, you know, so Love Hotel came along at the right time because me and him had just broken up. That would have been better. But to make, you really basically said, I broke up with him to go film this show, but we was cool until it was time for me to go film this show. Anyway, Ashley's in there complaining about. See, this is how you know she don't really like that boy, because she's complaining about stupid shit like, I mean, can we go out one time and you just not put product in your hair? What does product in your hair have to do with anything? If that's how that man wears his hair, why is that an issue? He had product in his hair when you met him. He had product in his hair when you slept with him. The first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 20th time. So why is that an issue now? You just are not into him. Because why are you picking on this man about his hair? And then she's going to say, I mean, I think a sign of maturity is having white sheets. I guess I'm immature then, because I don't own that one set of white sheets. I don't like white sheets. I like color, just like I don't like white walls. There's not one white wall in my house. I don't like, it's sterile to me. White sheets and that's sterile to me. I don't think that has anything to do with maturity about what color your sheets are. What does that have to do with anything? That makes no sense to me. You just wanted to complain about something. Right, correct. She couldn't miss that check. Right. So Tia and her husband, I forget his first name, the Masseys, they're cute. We saw them go out to dinner. She said, look, we renting a house because we're looking for the right house. We want some property, and we don't have a lot of that here. Yeah. The reality is, in this area, if you want land, you're going to have to move a little further out, baby. You're not going to get a whole 5 acres. You ain't going to find too much land with 5 acres this close to the city. You're going to have to move out, baby. Now, you could probably find some. I'm not a real estate agent. I don't know all of the ins and the outs, but, you know, but I think they should do that. Like, if that's what you want, you look, she said that, you know, their house in Colorado has won awards. They've renovated. And she said, I mean, I'm even open to, you know, renovating. And her husband was like, no. Her husband was like, no, I'm not doing that again. So, and then he asked her how things are going with the ladies and shit. You know, she said, they're good. You know, things are cool. She said, I'm reserving my opinion. You know, I don't want to base my relationship with these ladies on other people's opinion, aka KK. I'm sure, I feel like that's what she was talking about. You know, she said, but I'm gonna, you know, but he was like, oh, they not hazing you. She was like, I can't be hazed. It ain't gonna happen to me. It ain't gonna happen to me. Now at hotels, I don't have a problem with white sheets and stuff at hotels, but I don't want them in my house. And that's not to say I'll never buy a set of white sheets. I'm just saying I don't feel like that equals maturity, is that you have a set of white sheets. If I see a, you know what I mean? I'm not saying I would never do it. I don't own I don't own any right now. I don't own not one, and I don't know if I ever have. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've ever owned a set of white sheets. Huh. I've had eggshell, like off-white, but like just like, yeah, I don't know if I've ever. I would have to think longer than I care to think about it. But anyway, that was Angel, not Tia. Oh, you're right. You're right. I got Tia and Angel mixed up. Angel's the one that's married to Massey. Angel's, yeah, I understand that. My bad. You're right. I got Angel and Tia mixed up. I'm talking about Angel. Biscuits roasted. I don't want to see my dirt. I know that's right. So Giselle goes over KK's house. Now, of course, the first thing Giselle does is ask KK about Greg. She said, well, me and Greg are in a good place. You know, yes, he stays over here, but I love having my own space. But, you know, we're in a good place. Giselle says, well, I think that, I don't think Greg's a horrible person, but I think that Greg and KK are in a good, basically what we've been saying. I feel like KK is just allowing, she wants to be back with Greg, so she's allowing the relationship to be, she's allowing Greg to dictate the relationship, right? Last year she was ready to be married. I don't think Greg was ready to be married, and I think she's willing to accept that. Now, is she settling, or is she just realizing maybe we do need to take a step back? I don't know, right? Time will tell. They talk about Tia's party, and this is what I was saying about Giselle just being fucking insufferable. You ask her about the party, and then y'all get to talking about her event. KK is talking about the Wendy thing. Why are we still talking about the Wendy thing, KK? Your event happened after Ashley's party. I thought you and Wendy talked. I thought you and Wendy cleared the air. What's up, Mims? Hey, boo. I thought you and Wendy cleared the air. Why are you still telling these women who were at the same party you were at? Why are we still talking about this? See, this is the shit I'm talking about. And this is why the episode was not enjoyable. And then when your friend tries to give you a different perspective, now you mad at her? See, I've told y'all a million times, I don't want a friend that tells me what I want to hear. I want a friend that tells me what I need to hear. And what your friend was trying to tell you was, look, when you talk to Wendy, you had to admit, well, Wendy did say she didn't know she was coming because her child was sick. So as a mother, what Tia was trying to give you a perspective of was, well, when you saw her, did you ask her how her daughter was? I mean, did you ask her how her children were feeling? And KK was like, no. She was like, oh, I mean, I'm just wondering because she told you her kids were sick, but she still showed up at the event. As her friend, did you ask her how her kids were doing? Now, I thought that was a little like, well, wow. But I understand her saying, look, you're looking at this from your perspective, and there's a different perspective you could be looking at it from. KK was like, yeah, she said, well, the first thing she's going to say to me is, did I do my own makeup? And I think we talked about this last week. Depending on the context, it's not an automatic insult. Now, depending on how Wendy said it, maybe it was. Clearly, KK was insulted by it. Can't tell nobody how to feel. But then KK gonna say, yeah, because I had to chin check her. Now, two things in this scenario that pissed me off. And it's gonna come back later when we get to Tia's party. Giselle, why are you acting like you don't know what the term chin check mean? I mean, what's that mean, chin check? I mean, to me, a chin check mean, like, did she get physical with her? Giselle, you know what the hell she meant when she said I had to chin check her. You know what that term means. You know that she did not mean that she physically put her hands on that woman. She meant she checked her and was like, girl, whose friend are you? Whose side are you on? You on my side or her side? That's what she meant. And that's what she meant. But here go Giselle, like Mem said, she's horrible. You take a pebble and you then turn it into a boulder. I mean, what you mean by chin check? What's that mean? I mean, what's that mean? What you mean? So then we get to Tia's party. And Tia's party is about wellness and holistic health. She's doing a sound bath and, all that bullshit. I didn't want to say bullshit. All that stuff. The ladies are showing up. First of all, why are we still talking about Stacey's breath? I mean, you told that woman her breath stinks. What? So every time y'all see her, y'all gonna hand her mint, y'all gonna hand her gum, y'all gonna make jokes about her breath. Y'all literally made jokes about that woman's breath the entire day. At least what they showed us. I should say that. The ladies show up and Giselle was like, so I hear that you don't allow loud noises and loud talking in your home. And Angel was like, yeah, no, I don't like any negativity in my house. And Giselle's going to say, I mean, I like negativity. I think sometimes you got to go through the negative to get to the positive. And as soon as Giselle said that, what I was thinking in my head was, why we can't just have one nice event? Why does everything have to be fucking messy? This woman has invited y'all into her home. It's your first time coming to her house. Y'all don't know nothing about her. And she's trying to share something about who she is with this group. Y'all can't have one event where y'all just have a good damn time. Giselle walked in the door on some bullshit. So then she gonna say, well, you know, so you good with everybody? Is everybody cool? Wendy, KK, y'all good? KK, you and Angel, y'all good? So now Angel is like, what she mean? Me and KK don't have no issues. As far as I know, we don't have no issues. So Giselle gonna say, well, I mean, I'm gonna just go ahead and be honest. I mean, she said that she had to chin check you the other day, and I was just trying to figure out what that meant. And then here come her sidekick Ashley chiming in. Oh yeah, chin check. Oh, so she chin checked you? Oh, she chin checked. Baby Angel said, that's my friend of 20 years. I know she ain't say no mess like that because she know that's not even how we talk. That's why Giselle got kicked out of Monique's house, came into Monique's mansion and talked trash about her fish tank. Meanwhile, she lives in that $900,000 tear down. Right. And I was here for Monique when she put Giselle out. I was absolutely here for her. Told her, you can leave. Like, we're not doing that here. My pastor here with his wife, we having a good time, good vibes. We don't play them games. You can go. You can go. And then Wendy talking about, oh, what's this she put in my drink? It's black. Oh my God. Oh, what's that? Oh, girl, nobody's trying to kill you. Ain't nobody trying to kill you, girl. And if she was, do you think she would have done it in front of you? She would have just slid it in your drink before you got there. She wouldn't have let you see her putting it in the drink on camera. It's not that deep. Y'all be doing too much. Y'all make shit so fucking ridiculous sometimes. Like I said, I didn't enjoy this episode. I didn't enjoy the mean girl, the pile up. I didn't enjoy how we couldn't just chill. And I understand, yes, we want to see the drama, blah, blah, blah. But we couldn't just have a nice event with the damn sound bath and we couldn't do that. Right, Cheryl. The lady said you were like a cold towel. She talking about some let me smell it. No, thank you. Girl. First of all, you knew you wasn't about to take that hand towel no way because you wasn't about to put it on your face and mess up your makeup. But still, you ain't had to do that. That was just unnecessary. Wendy gonna be fighting hard about something else, child. But yes. Right, too, Ellis says the sound bath should have been right on line. Like, that's what Giselle should have been saying. Giselle should have been saying, well, you know, me and Ashley have this business, G&A. This is something that, you know, we might want to get into. Maybe we need to talk. And you said that you do whatever Angel says she do. I don't remember the title, but it has something to do with holistic health when they do the nature walks and stuff. Like, you're right. That should have been something that Giselle should have been wanting to find some partnership in instead of tearing the shit down. It's just, she gets on my nerves. It's just, so then she gonna pull KK inside. KK, you did say you was gonna chin check her. You did say that. And KK was like, well, hell, I can stand in what I said. If I said it. So Giselle gonna say, I'm not a liar. KK, tell her. So KK gonna say, girl, I'm sorry. She said I said it. I'm sorry. KK, you know that's what you said because you was trying to play Billy Badass in front of Giselle. You just didn't think Giselle was gonna throw it back in Angel's face. You know you said it. You know you said you was going to chin check, that you had to chin check that woman. You know what you said out your mouth. You just didn't expect Giselle to be messy about it, which I don't know why you didn't think that. So Stacey shows up. They were talking about mints and they were making jokes about Stacey's breath. And of course, I don't know if it was editing or if it was just serendipity. That's when Stacey shows up. So now here come the mint jokes and the breath jokes. And Stacey was like, you know what? After everything I've been through the last couple of weeks with these ladies, if they want to talk about my breath, fine, whatever. Then it's my breath. So be it. Can we get 100 likes? Thank you, Ravine. Can we get up to 100 likes, please? Ravine said we got 170 people watching, but we only have 69 likes. Can we get over 100 likes? Please and thank you. Just hit the like button, please. So after the holistic situation, Stacey says, Ashley, can I talk to you for a minute? And here comes Giselle. Oh, I want to hear all of this. She didn't ask for you. She asked for Ashley. She said she wanted to talk to Ashley. Now she showed Ashley a divorce document. Now, Stacey, this is what I'm gonna say to you. These are not the women that you're dealing with to give them a half-ass receipt. If you're going to show them your divorce decree, show them the divorce decree. Because both of them are divorced and they looking for the seal. They looking for the Just listen. I would rather you just not show her than to not show them the actual divorce decree. And then, did y'all notice where it said that Stacey was a pro se? That means Stacey didn't have an attorney. Didn't Stacey tell us last year that she had an attorney because they went to mediation and she was blindsided? Remember, she said she got blindsided in mediation. Did she not say she had an attorney, or did I miss that? Because that document that they showed said that she was pro se. Girl, you didn't have no attorney? Girl. I'm with you, Tiffany. I wouldn't be trying to prove nothing to them. But my thing is, if I am going to try to prove something to them, then it's going to be the real thing. Because if you show them something half-assed, it's going to be an issue, which is exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. It wasn't good enough. It didn't matter. So anyway, that was pretty much Tia's, I keep saying Tia, Angel's situation. I enjoyed it. We've seen sound baths on Housewives before. It was nothing new, but it was nice to see again. It was nice to see somebody coming into the group trying to bring some positivity. But you got hateful ass Giselle and petty hateful ass Ashley, and it just they just get on my nerves. So this last scene, we see Giselle, Ashley, and KK meet up with Cookie down to Tally Ho, Karen's favorite restaurant, because her birthday is coming up and they want to do something special for her birthday and, blah, blah, blah. This is how you know Karen coming back. They wouldn't be talking this much about Karen if Karen, y'all notice they don't say, baby, Jen Shaw don't get this kind of attention over on Salt Lake City. I mean, her name coming like in the episode where Angie K said, oh, this, she's just like Jen Shaw. But for real, Karen name, I know it's only been 2 episodes, but baby, Karen has dominated these episodes like she really on the show. What you mean cookies are chopped? Let me tell y'all something. Something that pissed me off about this episode. You live 4 miles from Tally Ho. I want to go. I might have to go down to Tally Ho just to eat me some French toast and take a picture. I might go down there one weekend, drive down to Tally Ho Ocean, have me some French toast, honey. Here's what this scene pissed me off for something that y'all might not know. So let me explain what pissed me off about this scene. Everybody in DC knows Cookie. And when I say everybody, you know what I mean. Like, Cookie is a socialite. Cookie is at all of the events. Cookie knows a lot of people. She has moved in celebrity circles her entire life. Okay? Cookie I mean, I can't take shit away from Cookie, right? Cookie legitimately knows people, and she's at all the parties. She's everywhere, right? Everybody knows Cookie. Let me tell you what else everybody knows about. 3 things we're gonna know about Cookie. Okay, it's 3 things we're gonna know about Cookie. Cookie gonna have them nails. Cookie gonna have them nails. Cookie gonna have the hair, and Cookie boobs are gonna be out. So when Ashley was like, "Oh, the boobs are boobing. Oh, look at those boobs." Cookie's boobs are always baby. I could go to Cookie's Instagram page right now or go to Cookie's Facebook right now. Because yes, I know Cookie. And I could show y'all 50,000 pictures of Cookie's boobs out. And I was just like, once again, I know I'm being petty, but why do we have to make everything a thing? Ashley, you have been around Cookie enough to know them boobs is always out. Them boobs is always out. And I was like, why are we making this a thing? It just, y'all can go back and look at old episodes of Housewives. Cookie's been on multiple episodes. The boobs are always out. And I just feel like it's always something. They just can't, like, they have to be petty and shady all the fucking time. And again, this was at the end of the episode, and I was already feeling that way, but that's just what I thought. Like, God, right, Cheryl, nails, hair, and boobs. You're going to always get that out of Cookie. Always. Is she supposed to be Karen's proxy until she makes a debut? I don't think she's Karen's proxy. I think that, again, everybody knows Cookie. Cookie and Karen are friends in real life. They are very good friends. And again, this isn't the first time. This is the first time Cookie's had this much of a speaking part. But this ain't the first time y'all seen Cookie. Cookie has been on this show. If we're in season 10, Cookie has been on this. She has made cameos on this show going back probably 8 seasons. Probably 8 seasons. Cookie was at Monique's rainbow party. Cookie was at Monique's. It was something else they filmed at Monique's house. And I think that might be one of the first scenes I remember. She might have been in earlier scenes, but one of the first scenes I remember was at Monique's house. Because again, she is legitimately friends with Chris Samuels. I don't think her and Monique are as close as they used to be, but Monique and Cookie were very close at one time. Her and Chris Samuels are friends in real life. She was at Monique and Chris's wedding. She was at Karen's wedding. Yeah, like, so I don't think she's the proxy, but I do think she's the mouthpiece because she talks to Karen. Like, she legit talks to Karen. So I do think that's why they had her on there, because again, it's clear that they're keeping Karen's seat warm until her ass come back. It's clear to me that Karen is going to be the unspoken housewife. You know, she's the ghost housewife. You know what I'm saying? So, based on the comments she made on TSR, Cookie doesn't like Wendy. She don't. No, she don't like Wendy. But she used to not like Giselle. So, yeah. Anyway, I ain't gonna go too deep into all of that. But yeah, I mean, so when they brought up Chris Samuels and she was like, what? Now, Cookie, don't come and get me, girl. Don't come and get me. That was some bad acting. I do think that scene was set up. I'm gonna be honest. I think it was set up for you to be like, oh, look who I'm texting right now. I'm texting Chris. For them to be like, Chris who? Chris Samuels. For Ashley to just conveniently say, oh, well, you know, Stacey was trying to date Chris Samuels. Who? Chris who? Now, Cookie, I do think that was some bad acting. I think that scene was very much staged. Now, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. That's my opinion. But we did hear some good news. We heard that Karen's doing well. She's getting along with the ladies. The inmates love her. They call her Miss Karen. And she's doing good. That you know, she checks in on Ray regularly. And you know, Giselle was like, well, is there a possibility for her to come home early? And she was like, mm-hmm. And Giselle was like, is that a yes? She was like, I'm not saying. That's right, Cookie. You better keep it to the vest. You better keep it close to the vest. You know, especially if Stacey and Monique ain't friends. Like if Stacey and Monique ain't friends, Stacey don't owe Monique shit. Monique wasn't even on the show. So I agree with that. Now I don't know if Stacey and Monique are friends. That's a different now. See, and that may be something we find out later on. I don't know if Stacey and Monique know each other or how they know each other. But if they have a prior relationship and they did know each other, that's a different conversation. But if they never knew each other, if they just moved in the same circles because they all right here in the DC area, But Cookie is legit Karen's friend. Like when I went to go see Karen at the where was she? At the Nordstrom. When I went to her pop-up at the Nordstrom, Cookie was there. Cookie was in court. Cookie went to court with Karen. Yeah, like I said, they're friends for real. They're legit friends. Are you talking about Stacey and Monique? Yeah, I don't know. I know that they've moved in the same circles. Like I know they have friends in common. But I don't know if they're friends. But they do have friends in common. But I don't know if Stacey and Monique were actually friends. But we'll find out, child. We'll find out, honey. So anyway, that was pretty much the episode. Tomorrow night, we'll be on T's. The Whether You Like It or Not panel is going to be on T's channel. So if you're not subscribed, get subscribed. But of course, I'll share it out on my wall. And it'll be on Instagram. But again, y'all should all be subscribed to Giving You the Real Tea. I don't think Stacey could afford to hire Chris. No, she can't afford to hire Chris. No. Nah. Not at all. Chris don't need none of their money. Chris good. At least that's my understanding. My understanding is Chris good, okay? But yeah, now that y'all actually go back and look, y'all can probably Google it. Cookie been on, matter of fact, Cookie was, I think the first time we heard Cookie talk was when KK and Candace friend, when they got into that fight. When KK got her head busted at that fight, and they were outside, and Cookie was outside with them when they were talking about it. And remember, Karen went in to check on KK, and Karen ended up going to the hospital with KK. Cookie was there. Cookie was at that event, and they were outside talking. And Cookie, that's the first time I actually heard Cookie talk. Cookie was at last season when Mia, that brunch that Mia got up and walked out of when she started crying. Cookie was at that. Like Cookie been around. Y'all probably just didn't notice her. But Cookie been around, child. And again, Cookie's very active in DC. Like, again, Cookie's around. You probably never noticed her, but she been around. She's been around. Like I said, the first time I saw her, because I've worked with Cookie, because her son went to DC public schools, and she was a very active parent, PTA, school board. Like if stuff was going on, she would be protesting with the teachers. If we needed to go down to the city council, she would be down there. She knew a lot of the city councilmen. So that's how I met her. That's how I knew her. And I'm not gonna say me and Cookie are best friends or anything like that. But if I needed to talk to Cookie, I could get in touch with Cookie and have a conversation. But yeah, Cookie's cool. She good people. Yep. Yeah. But anyway, matter of fact, Cookie was on Love and Marriage DC. No, not to my knowledge, Ravine. Not to my knowledge. Cookie was on Love and Marriage DC because she's good friends with Ashley. She's very good friends with Ashley. She's friends with Winter. She used to be friends with the Tylers, but they not cool no more. But she used to be friends with the Tylers. So if y'all go back to Love and Marriage DC, y'all have seen Cookie. She was at Ashley's Halloween party where the big fight happened on Love and Marriage DC. She was at that event. Where else did I see Cookie on Love and Marriage DC? She's been at but I know she was there. Anything Ashley had, Cookie was probably at. She was definitely invited because Ashley and Cookie are friends in real life. Mm-hmm. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go all the way back. For those of you who've been following Housewives since Monique was on the show, if y'all go back to the season 5 where Monique and Ashley got into it. I mean, Monique, Lord, I said Ashley. Monique and Candace got into it. Y'all remember. We all remember. Remember Monique used to go live after the show and kind of give you like the breakdown. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember when Monique would go live after the episodes on her Instagram? Because that was one of the ones was when Karen was drunk and Ray had to come get her off of Instagram. Y'all remember that? Well, if y'all remember when Monique used to go live, Cookie used to be at Monique's house when she was live. And a couple of times, Cookie was on camera. And she used to talk shit about other members. I ain't going to say who she talked about. But she used to talk shit about other housewives. Cookie used to be at Monique's house when she would go live after the episode. Now, those lives are probably gone now. I mean, those are all, unless somebody screen recorded them, those lives are probably long gone. But she sure did. Sure did. I love Cookie. Just put it like this. Just remember who Monique was cool with and who Monique wasn't cool with. And you can decipher who she was talking shit about, who she wasn't talking shit about. Okay? I'm going to just leave it at that. I don't know if Cookie and Sharice are cool. I've never really asked. When I talk to Cookie, again, I haven't talked to her in a long time. But when I did talk to her, I did reach out to her one time to try to see if she could help me, because I was trying to interview Karen to see if she could help me get an interview with Karen. I did reach out to her one time about that. But I try not to, when I know people, I try not to do that. If you know what I'm saying, I try not to do that. But I did ask her. But it's hard going through Bravo to get interviews sometimes. I was just trying to see if I could get a shortcut. I was trying to see if she could give me a shortcut. Mama of two, I don't know. I don't know her business like that. Yeah, I don't know her business like that. That ain't my business, and I don't know her business like that. So, all right, y'all, let me get up off of here so I can get ready to go to work in the morning, Chad. I gotta. The good news is I have a 4-day week, so I'm off on Friday. The bad news is I gotta get to Friday. Anyway, let me get up off of here. I'll talk to y'all later. Mwah. Peace.